And this is the name. This is the Obsidian masterpiece. The Outer Worlds Prison Break. Gaming news. oSpAzZiNx coming at you live. Thank you for tuning into this video at this point. And please note that this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't with that bullshit. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. It really means a lot about me. Alright. So in gaming news, Bethesda should be able to bounce back. Possibly by adding mod support to 76. Woo. Then on top of that, we've got CD Projekt Red, who is now one of the most anticipated game developers out there. Like Bethesda was back 6 or 7 years ago when the preview for Fallout 4 came out and everybody was just going dumb, stupid. That was my kill, dipshit. How did these idiots not know that I'm here?
Guess we're going up.
Let's go. Stellar base counting on us.
Do I got my people from Stellar Bay coming? It would be nice. Patient, and what is it? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you hold us back, really. Oh, it's the Iconoclast. Where the hell you guys? Where are we supposed to go? Yeah, fuck y'all. Alright, let's read the terminal. I bet that's talking about the, okay. Yep. It was about that message that was recorded.
Something on your mind?
All right, Emmett. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and...
Stop, just stop.
Heading back! Be right there! On my way! Something bigger! Wait for company ammo. Guess this is it, huh?
What? I'm ready.
Something on your mind?
Just in case all hell breaks loose.
After all you've done, all the lives you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me.
Fuck you, Chairman
Your misguided
Rockwell.
crusade has doomed Halcyon.
You have doomed it.
Idiot! I'm not the one marching to my death in a maximum security prison. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off. No call for... You unbelievable bastard. Sophia should be the one wasting her time with you, but you killed her. I'll have you hanged, quartered, bankrupted.
No problem.
Thankfully, you're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Then I'll drag you to the executioner myself. Is that sarcasm? Do you know what I do to people who employ the lowest, most base form of humor? I fire them. Alas, as you are woefully unemployed, I'll have to do the next best thing and have you killed. In the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint with your skull. It was fucking expensive. Absolutely not. Akande was always the sociable one, not me.
kick it in the back.
Here we go! No!
Shit. Son of a bitch. Why will the combat drones not fucking die? There we go. Got away him quick. Alright, boy. Watch this, I'll get him to run past these barrels. Shit. I'll use up all this ammo, I don't give a fuck. Why is this one? Oh shit. Oh shit. Ooh. God damn it. God. This part is hard as shit.
We got the drop on her.
this!
Ellie, this is where your help would be most needed. Come on, at least let me recover some of my ammo. Run, heal. Reload. Come on, die. Holy shit, I'm getting overwhelmed. I knew it would be the flamethrower to get me through this. Shit, I'm finna regain most of my ammo off your bitch ass. Holy shit. Do y'all motherfuckers not feel like that was a battle? Jesus Christ. I sure as fuck need as many E-cells as I can get back. I had like 3,000 coming in here. Oh shit, are we settling this once and for all? And I'm gonna get the beast, bro.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in
I
3
knew it.
years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Well, we got this, everybody. Please check my YouTube. Alright.
Yes, certainly. I'll help however I can.
Alright.
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate. Half the colony's entire military was on that
Yep,
ship.
that's
They were
right.
returning to Earth when they
Yep,
vanished.
I
That was 2
remember
years
that.
ago. We haven't... I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours. Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself. If you have any more... I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's... We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us? You won't hear a word of disagreement from me. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
The OSI
Damn it.
teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. Scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Bolstered by her status as savior of humanity, Lilia Hagen ushered Sublight Salvage to a new golden age. Her company grew bolder and more transparent over time, muddying the line between lawful and criminal for the entire colony. The Sublight family would thrive for years to come. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name. And in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon,
This
but
game
for the
was
first
great.
time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. You administered the colony in your own image. With the old power of the board destroyed, a new government of Halcyon rose with you at its center. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years that were to follow, and helped ensure the survival of the colony until the end of your days. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Beautiful game. That's what I'm talking about. That's a motherfucking beautiful game. It's a beautiful, beautiful game, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're gonna go with the Byzantium people. Byzantium people.
Let's talk outside. A word, Captain?
Can you believe... I thought they'd be scandal. They'd both be sitting there. Mother would... I'd have a great one-line. Yeah. Now, father would... I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in. I hope you don't think I'm talking about this. Uh-oh, it looks like... Can I just have a drink and... Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience. Wait a second. I could... As long as I... If... Some... You think the privy's gold-plated too? That's top of the line.
That's far enough. You're in my house.
If anyone ever tries to off me, I hope they do it.
Hagen. I've never heard of her. To keep me quiet. But if you didn't know that, I always assumed they would put a bullet in my head one of these... Let's talk about this. If you came looking for some elaborate...
What are you doing, Doctor?
You can write me up in your report. I'm researching a new way to feed the car. A recent development, Captain. Apparently someone's... The food we grow here barely sustains... I believe... Not for lack of trying. There are other teams. I'm desperate. I've already... One of the two Earth Directorate assault cruisers. It's been missing for over 2 years.
Imagine losing something with... How'd you lose half a pair?
The board is uneasy about... Exactly. Once we can replicate a success, the board...
Knowing what the board considers a success, that...
You really think the board got our best interests at heart?
We haven't made enough strides... You came to kill me. I assume that's still on the... If I die...
It seems like she's trying to help, Captain. Honest.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I try not to.
Everything I did... The one on the one. I'll do it.
Doctor!
What choice do I have?
God dang it. I need to increase my reputation with the board, not to fuck it up. Jesus, there goes the fucking controller. What the hell is this? Oh, mouse. Come on, okay. Everything's ready for me to get in bed.
You think the privy's gold-plated too?
Going.
That's...
If anyone ever...
What? You... A recent... Our produce might get us through...
Is that why everyone in Edgewater was so sick? Not a plague, but vegetables?
The lack of usable nutrients is compromising our immune systems. Under these conditions, even the common cold could seem like a plague. The food we grow here barely... I believe that I could adapt humans to live on Halcyon's terms. That I could change us. Give us the ability to... I know. I was there. We learned a lot from his autopsy. I wouldn't allow... I'm desperate. What?
Knowing what the board...
You really think the board got our best interests at heart?
We haven't made enough strides to... If I die... You won't regret... For now...
Not so fast. Captain, what you just learned is beyond... Give me one reason... Wrong answer.
They're on us.
Man, come on, this one's finna get annoying, bro. I swear to God. This is the last motherfucking time I'm trying this.
This reminds me of... Oh, never mind.
What happened? I'll tell you everything, just...
That's a rare dose of sincerity for Byzantium.
What are you doing, Doctor?
You can write me up... I'm researching and... Not... You came to kill... You won't For now, I had better...
Not so fast. Give me... Now move...
The board is our best and only chance at survival. People will learn to accept that.
takes. Yeah?
Something on...
My dear fellow, I'm on my legally allotted break. Really? Oh. Laws, I knew it! I work in the lab at the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Some of my sprats went missing, but it's not my fault. Maybe I let them out more often than regulations allow. And so what if I occasionally forgot to latch their cage? They escaped, and before I could coax them back, they'd made their way to the maintenance. Even if I did dare go down there, they're among all the common sewer sprats and Really? In that case, take this collection crate. They have intelligent eyes, an agreeable yet reserved demeanor. Please.
So what if all those MSIs created on Monarch this one time? I could do it. Easy.
Have you tried? Then you'll... Quite so.
I've always loved that skirt.
You, with the...
You're not afraid of speaking your... I'm Celeste. Yes. I'm working on a new line. Marvelous. Oh, you can't. I'll need you to model for me the following.
No tall shoes, though.
You have...
You don't gotta...
Let... Love.
I don't get what I...
Oh, my chick. All right, Captain. There... If I were an enterprising spacer in need of a wardrobe... Goodness. Look to...
Alright.
So then I told... Destination reached. The groundbreaker.
Alright, this is the Byzantium people, the one I'm going to save. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the stream. Thank you for tuning in. I love y'all. Goodbye.